Hey there! Welcome back to another exciting exploration of the wonders of language. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of words with a figure of speech called metonymy. Metonymy happens when we use a word to represent something else because they have a close connection. Stay curious, word nerds. Let's see how metonymy pops up in our everyday conversations. It's more common than you might think and adds a layer of richness to our language. Imagine your friend saying, "The White House released a statement today." Instantly, you know they're referring to the president or the administration, not the building itself. They're not talking about the building itself talking, are they? Nope. They're using the White House to represent the president and their administration. This makes the conversation more engaging and concise. Another example is when we say, "The pen is mightier than the sword." This phrase has been used for centuries to emphasize the power of writing and ideas over physical force. We know pens and swords can't actually fight, but we're using them to represent the power of words and violence. It's a vivid way to convey a deeper meaning. See how metonymy makes our language more powerful? It allows us to communicate complex ideas in a simple and relatable way. Lastly, you might hear someone say, "Let's go grab a bite." This casual phrase is understood by everyone to mean having a meal together. They don't mean just one bite of food, do they? Of course not. They're using bite to represent a whole meal. It's a fun and efficient way to express the idea. Metonymy is all about using a part to represent the whole or something closely related. It enriches our conversations and makes our language more dynamic. Metonymy isn't just for everyday talk. It's a favorite tool of authors and poets, too. Shakespeare loved using metonymy. Remember that line from Julius Caesar, "Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears." He wasn't asking for their actual ears, but their attention. Another example is from George Orwell's Animal Farm, where he uses the farm to represent a whole society. It's a clever way to talk about bigger ideas in a more symbolic way. Section 4, Metonymy's close cousin, synec-ducky. This figure of speech is often confused with its relative, but it has its own unique charm. Now here's where things get a little trickier. Understanding synec-ducky requires a bit more nuance. Metonymy has a close cousin called synec-ducky. These two are often mentioned together because they share similarities. They're both figures of speech that use one thing to represent another, but there's a slight difference. This difference, though subtle, is significant. Synec-ducky specifically uses a part to represent the whole or the whole to represent a part. It's a way of simplifying complex ideas. For example, saying wheels to mean car is synec-ducky because wheels are a part of a car. This kind of use of language can be fascinating. Saying America won the gold medal is synec-ducky. Here, the whole country stands in for its athletes. That's because we're using America, the whole, to represent the American athletes, a part. This usage is quite common in everyday language. So, while synec-ducky involves replacing a specific part of something with the whole, metonymy involves replacing a word or phrase with a related one. Although they are closely related, these two figures of speech are distinctly different from each other, and with a bit of practice, it is really easy to tell who is who. But don't sweat it too much. The key is to appreciate the beauty of language. The important thing is to recognize how these figures of speech make our language more vivid and interesting. They add color and depth to our communication. Section 5. Wrapping our heads around it. Metonymy and synec-ducky might seem confusing at first, but with practice, you'll spot them everywhere. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.